What's good? Education, right? Education. It's like this. If your education level is low, like your intellect, you're going to have some serious issues in life. Period. You understand? And in order to fix that, you have to do several things. You have to be very observant. You have to be very cautious. You have to acknowledge the details. You have to be aware of things. You have to understand different circumstances and situations that you face, that you may overcome, that you may go through. Like, you got to look at all of the ends and all of the ends and odds of everything that is within your circumference. So when you're going through different times, and things tend to change because of the time. Nothing remains the same. I don't Anything you think about, nothing remains the same. Everything has a date, and then it has an expiration date, then it has an update. You know what I'm saying? So the point of the matter is, you have to update your intellect. And this goes for me too. You every now and again, you have to keep brushing up on certain word patterns. You got to keep touching up on, even like some people can read some people can do the ins and outs of a book, right? They can read the book in like a 300-page book in a short period of time. I'm not going to say 3-4 days, an hour. It's a short period of time, right? Now you got that same person that can read the book from front to back, but then when it comes to the street knowledge, they're not as intelligent due to the book smarts. Now, what my point is, you got to be book smart and street smart. You got to be able to decipher between the two. You got to be able to know this side of the world and this side of the world. You can't just know this side of the world, because you're going to have to face this side of the world. Any given time, you don't know. So, knowing that, you got to be able to incorporate both worlds and strategize between the two, and then create a success strategy for either one. Like Jay-Z, he took his business acumen from the street life and incorporated it into his musical life. So now, as a musician, he is very popular. He is very knowledgeable. He is very intelligent. So, knowing that, you got to be cautious and mindful of the things that you do. Like, for example, he's a billionaire, right? But rewind to when he first started. Rewind, like all the way to the beginning. Now, from what I've learned and from what I've seen from the exposure that he was given, he started out on the block. You understand? He started from the block, and he was manipulating word patterns, and then from there, he took it to the next level. He was like, you know what? Shopping for these deals ain't going to happen at that time. Shopping for deals ain't going to happen. And the reason why is because the words he was using, they couldn't really understand them, so they didn't think it was going to do so good. Well, he said, you know what? It's cool. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to start Rockefeller Records. What happened? It launched off. It was a big success. So successful that he took that label, and they was the only label at that time, the only label to financially back themselves up. They financially had the capital to distribute their own material. Do you know how hard that is? To distribute a million copies? They financially did it themselves. Like, whoa, that's big. So when you displaying it, like, granted, times is different now, mind you. the time frame is that we can't do that. We can't do what he did. We gotta choose our own destination, our own destiny. We gotta choose it another way. Being unique, it's hard, but you gotta do it. You gotta find other avenues to tap into. Now, you have, you know, like I got stuck. Okay, back to the script. All right, I got it. Now you take the same situation, right? And then when you taking your situation at hand, you give people just enough. You understand? You don't give out your whole hand. You have 52 cards in the deck. You only show 2. You keep the 50 to yourself. So you make the 2 look like 50. You get the optical illusion. You make it look like it's more than what it is. You want to take more, then you take half. You don't even take half. Take 10 more. So you got 12 cards on the deck, right? You take 10. You keep the rest to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You take 12, put the rest in your pocket, do whatever you want with it, but don't display your whole hand. Don't show your whole hand. You never do that. Because why? People they gonna pull your cards before you can. Then they know your whole script before you even read it. No, you don't do that. You take your intellect, your 52 deck, you let 12 show. You let people think that you are what you are. You let people think that you're gonna do whatever it is you let them think that you're gonna do whatever it is that they think you're gonna do. Whatever they think you're gonna do, you do it, but then you switch it, so they like, oh, you know what I mean? They thought it was, but it wasn't. You know, it's like a paradox. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like Inception. You know, a paradox and Inception is kind of the same. They share the same similarities. Whereas though it looks like one thing, but it's like not. It looks like one thing, but it isn't that. You thought it was, but it isn't. It's one of those type of things. And your intellect is everything. Like, reading is everything. Granted, a lot of us don't read as much as we need to, and even if you read a page a day, even if you read a page a month, that's better than not reading at all. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to mimic and follow somebody else's footsteps, the person that's reading a book a day. Don't try to follow their footsteps, because you're only setting yourself up for failure. Meaning, it's like a habit. You understand? It's like a habit. It's just like a habit, actually. Say if you smoke cigarettes, right? Or whatever it is you do. I'm not even going to use that, because that's a negative habit. Say whatever it is you do, you start from this point, right? You then start from a large sum. You started from like 1. Then you went from 1 every day to 2. Then you go from 2 every day to 3. Next thing you know, you building up. You know what I'm saying? Repetition. You building up, building up, building up, building up. Next thing you know, you will eventually be to the point where you're doing things by the bulk. You understand? Just like when you're at your job. Whatever it is you do things in singles. However they train you, you do things by the single. Then after you build up, you know, your repetition get faster and faster. You start doubling up, tripling up, quadrupling up. The next thing you know, you went from 1 to like 15 or 5 or 10, whatever the case may be. So when you know that, you gotta keep it up here. People think that you slow. Let them think you slow. Let them think you aren't intelligent, and then you blast them with something. Whatever it is you want to blast them with something. Oh, you thought I was, what? Come on, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? You take your business mind and you incorporate it into something, whatever that suits you, whatever is suitable for you. You take that and you go all out with it. Like Jay, like I said, he took his business acumen from the street and incorporated it into the music business. So now that incorporation that he built upon the music is like, whoa, he done tapped into every different avenue. Like, it's so many things, like I say, there's so many things that he into that we don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So many, like he in, like from the research that I've done, he's in obviously basketball. He's in I think he was in movies. He had the Rockefeller Films or whatever have you. But he got his own label, Rock Nation, obviously. Live Nation, that's his too. if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. He got some type of fragrance, some perfume, cologne, something. He got my man got so like he got a lot of stuff, but like I say, it's so many things that he's into that he don't reveal, which is smart because you don't show your whole hand. You know, part two coming up.